10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and the hail sale has been a huge success, but is winding down. We still do have several units with huge discounts. Plus, we have brand new Sierras, $14,000 off list, or starting at $37,105, or 0.9% APR on select new models. Yes, you heard right. $14,000 off or 0.9% APR on new Sierras starting at $37,105. So please check us out at CoppellCars.com. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G289358.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
In dealing with the high interest rates, it's very important that you get as much bang for the buck. And that's what our Remington Homes is all about.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, whether you want painted trim or other upgrades. Those are all options with our Remington Homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Are you ready for a new opportunity?
check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is 93.7 The Ticket.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Three-time national champion Vershawn Jackson.
Touchdown. Vershawn Jackson, number 34, gets the touchdown.
Husker Hall of Famer Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bakoven. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Jim, 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Captain Show live from Blur Tailgate at the College World Series, the 75th annual. Man, it's 25 years past older than me. Bach, what in the heck is going on? Great baseball, great time, Blur.
Yes, absolutely. Blur Tailgate is the place to be if you're in or around the College World Series. Come join us. It's at the Hilton Omaha. We'll be here till 6. They'll be here till midnight. So if you're going to the later game, you could even come by afterwards. So again, we're here from 10 to 6 today. And at the corner of 12th and Cass. Can't miss the big white tent for Blur parties on the south side of Cass Street. I don't know if they moved that giant tiger, but that also made it pretty easy to find. Right, oh, they moved it over there. Yeah, if you can't find the big white tent, look for the giant tiger. You'll find him as well. This is the 13th annual tailgate with all-inclusive bar and buffet, 18 TV show and live baseball games, multiple seating options, including a hammock. Here on the 18th of June, there's some pretty good deals to get in. Lunch and dinner buffet, soda, water, and cash bar, $64. $94 for lunch, dinner buffet, soda, water, beer, cash bar, and wine. $114 for lunch, dinner buffet, soda, water, beer, wine, and mixed drinks. So any of those options are good options depending on what you like to drink, I suppose. But good deal there. You can get your lunch and dinner here if you hurry in here. And it's just a good time to do the Captain Show because they set it up at the College World Series, I think, because of the Captain Show to tip off, to throw the first game here at 1 o'clock. So the game should be underway. Looks like a little brighter than maybe it was just a few minutes ago.
A little rainy, little drizzle.
We're down to 4.
That's right.
We're down to 4. LSU and Arkansas kicks it off again, just like the beginning of the College World Series. Louisville, Coastal Carolina. Both of these teams on the brink of elimination. They both got one loss. If they lose, they're done. It'll set up a championship match with LSU, Coastal Carolina, which I think LSU probably can get Coastal Carolina just with the powerful bats they have. If Arkansas starts that pitcher again, look for a
no. They can't. Listen, I've been around DP too long to understand baseball from a different level. There's no way that he can pitch today. No way he's pitching. It doesn't matter. He pitched 119 pitches, Terrell. There's no way they're going to stick him out there to do something, catastrophic to his arm. Hopefully whoever the pitcher is and whoever their ace is today can get him through to tomorrow. And maybe, just maybe, I'd say start him then. But even then, I don't know if I do it.
All right, LSU got beat last night by UCLA. They're out of it.
What?
By LSU.
Yeah, LSU beat UCLA. Don't make me.
UCLA's out.
And I knew they was going to lose because they had to play that morning game, and that kind of threw their rhythm off because they were supposed to play the night before. Game got canceled. You play a semi-double header like they did with a 4 or 5 hour rest.
Yeah,
not ready. It showed in the game, and now we're to the Final Four.
All right. Well, listen, LSU had the same opportunity as they did, and if they didn't prepare, meaning UCLA, that's the same. You can't blame anybody but them. It delayed on LSU just like it did UCLA. They got to be prepared to play. I think the best two teams are Coastal Carolina and LSU, and I'm looking forward to seeing both of those teams match up. I got my Coastal Carolina colors on today, but believe me, Saturday, go Tigers.
I was going to say, you had your LSU gear on the other day. So, yeah, again, so the situation here as we get ready for the first pitch here with Louisville and Coastal Carolina. Louisville will have to win to have an opportunity to play on Thursday, and then the winner of that game would move to the championship. But if Coastal Carolina wins, first of all, it'll be 26 in a row, which is rather impressive. But they'll punch their ticket to the championship bracket there. So Louisville has to beat a team twice that has won 25 in a row. That's going to be difficult to do. And then, like we said, LSU and Arkansas, the nightcap tonight. All these different matchups. We saw this in the opening round. That's the money matchup. That's the hottest ticket. When those two teams, SEC teams, match up, it's exciting. And LSU did win the first one. They're going through the winner's bracket. Arkansas, of course, kind of the story of the tournament now with that no-hitter. So, the headlines are heavy for that one.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas's got an opportunity to do what this same Coastal Carolina did in 2016 is have their backs against the wall, face an elimination game, and come out on top. I just don't think they got enough to do it. Now, if they had another pitcher, like that pitching performance that we saw, then they might have an opportunity. But I just don't think they've got enough to beat LSU.
Well, it's just the fact they have to do it twice. I mean, that's going to be kind of difficult. If they can win today or tonight, this evening at least, get us some baseball on Thursday, I think we'd all appreciate that. Of course, unless you're an LSU fan, then you say, well, we'll just punch our ticket and go. But I think the more Arkansas LSU we get, the better.
What's hitting the table? Something's making it shake. So if that's your knee, it's making that deal. Or is that we just going to shake like that?
That might be I don't know.
Is that the fan? Why is it shaking like
that? Might be the fan.
Well, we need to unplug the fan. But okay, so Terrell, I got to do it. I got to do it. What the heck is going on in Nebraska recruiting world where we're losing recruits all over the place? Jamel Williams' son, Bryson Jackson, commits to the Iowa State. They get another Nebraska Omaha commit.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say because, if it's the lack of recruiting in state now that we fell back and trying to recruit a bunch of nationwide kids, that's probably one of the things. But you don't lose your home state like we lost it this year. I think this is more fragile than what Scott Frost was doing when he was here. And he was able to secure at least 3 or 4 of the top kids in the state. We only got one. We lost another recruit too in CJ
Brownell,
Brownell. And I said this a long time ago. A kid that's on the rise that fast was going to lose interest because he takes the first school, Power 4 to Power 5 school, that gives him a scholarship, and you don't know if he's committed to it because of the name. Now he's risen. He's got hot. He's visited Florida. He visited Florida State last weekend. Tony White could have put a bird in his ear. You never know what happened, but Nebraska needs to step up real hard in recruiting, and especially let a kid like Jet go to Alabama and lead the state of Nebraska.
Well, I mean, when you're talking about a commitment, it's only that, a commitment.
Non-binding.
It's not binding.
Yeah.
So, you can get these guys to commit and you can court these guys that are from, all these different states, right? But what happens when they go, where is he from?
Who?
CJ. Florida.
Yeah.
He's the fastest man in Florida.
Guy in Florida, yeah.
Okay, in 100 and the 200 meters, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We decommitted to us, and who's the 2 schools? Florida and Florida State. Now, why am I saying this? Because you got to know, you got to think that when he went to Florida State or Florida, they're their home school. They're going to say, hey, you get to play in front of your mom. It's only 3 or 4 hours away. And then hopefully Tony White and crew didn't go bad and say, hey, why in the world would you go to Nebraska? See, what happens sometimes is when we offer a kid like this who is a diamond in the rough, it opens the door for everyone else to see the goods. And if you ain't got it, because I thought CJ wasn't he recruiting for us and trying to get other people to come? Didn't I hear that?
You might have heard that, but he's been pretty open about he's going to take all these visits, and so I think a lot of us felt pretty on edge about whether he was going to come to Nebraska or not. And listen, there's more time, and as always now in the transfer portal, maybe he'd come around the second round. So don't go out there and bash him on face or on Twitter or anything like that. It's just a kid, at this point deciding that he doesn't feel it's appropriate to be committed. We almost got to change that word, because to say you're a commitment or to say you're committed, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that anymore. So it's almost just like everything that I see until they're signed almost feels like a soft verbal, unless you really got, unless you are peer recruiting or something like out there, it's all over your Facebook or Twitter or whatever that you're on there. But even then, we've seen guys, change of mind right late.
Peer recruit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he was too.
Yeah.
If you go back, when
Dylan
he got
was
the
for Ohio
offer,
State.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So here's what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter about who cares about the commitment at this point, right? The only guys that are going to stay committed is the local guys. Those are the guys usually going to stay committed if you courted them. But if you didn't court them within, and I mean the guys within 250 to 500 miles from Nebraska, well, 250. If you didn't court those guys early and often, those are the guys that leave you. When you find a diamond in the rough like CJ and you put him on blast thinking, I would imagine we thought he was committed. And then he says, hey, Nebraska, thanks, but no thanks.
Well, you're talking about a kid who wasn't even in the rankings at the beginning of the year, and he's got himself all the way down to 106 in the nation, the 14th best corner in the nation, the 12th best athlete in the state of Florida. I mean, it's hard to keep a kid like that, especially when he's on the rise. I remember when I first started getting recruited out of junior college, here comes the small school, Cincinnati, Arizona, still schools that I didn't know anything about. But then a week later, the big schools started coming, Nebraska, A&M, Florida. So, for me, I still go with whoever's the best school out there. And for me, the best school for me was Nebraska. I didn't do my homework. I just knew Ed Stewart was leaving. I didn't know who Ryan Terwilliger was. I didn't know that coach, the linebacker coach, was leaving. I just knew that I wanted to go play for the number one school in the nation. And for this kid to stay at home, play in the state of Florida, play probably in Tony White defense, or even go to Florida. It's a dead heat between those two schools, and it's hard when you don't win, and the only thing you have to show for it is a beautiful complex like the University of Nebraska.
Well, and two is, you got to give Nebraska tip of the cap here to Nebraska for identifying him early, getting the offer and getting it to the point that he wanted to commit. So that's what's kind of frustrating, is that they did put in work. This isn't just, they weren't paying any attention.
Work across the country.
Well, but I'm saying this is what you hope to do, is if you're not one of those brand names, sometimes you can get points or kind of favoritism for being the first one there, right? The first big offer, the first offer altogether. And so that's kind of what felt like was keeping Nebraska in the race for the longest time. But it's just these big offers kept coming, and we're seeing it everywhere. Look at Jet Tabala. Iowa State was probably pretty darn happy when they got him and thought, okay, well, here's the future quarterback in this class. And then you start getting these bigger offers, and then you understand, okay, well, this kind of is what it is. We hope that maybe because we were the first one or had him this close, it got to the point of commitment, that he really was that committed. But it's just tough when the bigger schools or the state schools are jump in there, and then maybe you kind of go back onto what you were thinking growing up, what you wanted to do then before you kind of got close to Nebraska.
He didn't know nothing about Nebraska. Nebraska football is we've not been relevant in 10 years. So who wants to go to Nebraska? But at the end of the day, if a kid is committed to the university, and the coaching staff and the players, it's hard for him to leave. And when you are in Nebraska and you say, I want this kid that's in Florida, thinking, like you said, you got a good hard commitment. And he didn't have if he didn't have a scholarship offer from Florida, Miami, Florida State, any of them schools around there, what makes you think he's going to stay committed to you after you open the door up and shine the light on him? What is it going to make him stay committed? And let's quiet as kept. Iowa State, even though they've got those 6 or 7 guys from Omaha, which I think are pretty locked in at Iowa State. And I know Jamel Williams' son, when he committed, it's done. But what happens if those guys have great seasons and the Alabamas come in and these bigger schools start coming, you think they're gonna keep their commitment?
I don't know. I kind of talked to one of my Alabama people yesterday, and I called him. I said, "Hey, y'all in our neck of the woods stealing somebody." So he was like, "That's y'all loss," and it is Nebraska loss.
There you go.
If they don't continue to lock down the state, like you said, 6 guys going to Iowa State, never been heard of from the state of Nebraska.
Never
in my 10 years of being up here,
no.
I haven't seen anything like this. I don't know if Nebraska dropping the ball on these kids or they're trying to make better decisions about recruiting, but hey, you got to lock down the home state first.
And here, if they win, we won't even really be talking about it, right?
Yeah.
But if they struggle, and if Iowa State, who you can say whatever you want to about Big 12, Big 10, if Iowa State, who is a better football team than Nebraska at this current moment, being that they're ranked, we're not even close.
Has been the last 10 years,
Thank
baby.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, if Iowa State continue in that winning way and they get better, and we either stay the same or get a little bit better, I think that's going to turn into a problem.
Yeah, it's a bold strategy. That's why I don't think we've seen too many people employ it over the years at Nebraska. We always talk about just the 500-mile radius, winning the in-state guys, put a border up around the states, all that sort of thing. And because it makes sense. I mean, if, like you said, I mean, almost regardless of what happens here moving forward, Iowa State has a pipeline in Nebraska. So now you make connection with those coaches. Some of the schools, kids start to do well. That could take away from future Omaha kids. And then you just think about Nebraska football, I think has had, I think we would call it a pretty good relationship with Omaha, right? You've been able to get a lot of guys out of there, but there's been a few that kind of gotten away. If it starts to turn like Nebraska basketball, some of these other sports had I would say that relationship had soured at some point, that you could probably get into that conversation too, because it seems like over the last couple of years, and we've talked about this as well, there's just more D1 Power 5 prospects, Power 4 now, prospects in Nebraska and in Omaha specifically. So this is why this is kind of a dangerous attempt to go national and make your scholarship offers, kind of limit them to the top end players that you want. It's because this could have not just an effect on this year's class, but down the line too, if you're not keeping up that connection as well as you'd want to, as well as you would think you would need to, out of the state of Nebraska and your biggest city and biggest producer of talent in state in Omaha.
So, I think we need to call Ed Foley because he's the guy who's in charge of the recruiting in Omaha. They put him ahead of high school recruiting now. We have to step up and take Nebraska back, take Omaha back. Mickey Joseph worked so hard on trying to get Omaha back after Scott Frost kind of lost grip of it. Matt Rule came back and did the same thing that Mickey did and tried to keep the Nebraska kids. We get Malachi Coburn. We get the other kid who was at Missouri, who was committed to
Daniel Kalen.
You get the other receivers from West Side. Okay.
But that was not their first choice, though. That was Scott Frost and that regime's. Those were their first choices. I get what you're saying, but all those guys you just named, are they still at Nebraska?
No. And do the Omaha kids look at that? I think you do when in a sense of football, because there's not too many Omaha kids still left on this team, and the 5 that left in the last year and a half, those was great athletes, and the kids in Omaha know that. So for them to go in another direction and for Iowa State to be digging in your backyard, not even digging, they set up shop in your backyard.
Yeah, they got a whole university in Memphis. Are we east of Iowa or west of Iowa? West Campus, a Cyclone West Campus.
Yeah,
because I'm serious. I've never seen one team come in, but before that, name a team that came in and recruited multiple Huskers besides the University of Nebraska. What outside Power 4 team came to Omaha, of all places, and recruited multiple guys? It's unheard
few and
of.
far between. Yeah, I mean, you might have a year where there's 2 guys on Kansas State or something, but it hasn't been to this level. And then now Illinois got 2 of your top 10 guys in the state too, and that's within conference. And of course, the topic that we like, I think a lot of people are drawn to is, of course, quarterbacks as well. It's not just the Omaha thing. It's like Nebraska is not a state that delivers again D1 Power 4 type of quarterback prospects often. And there's certainly different ways you can kind of look at that. You're usually going to take one a class. Maybe that's not the position you necessarily need to go local. But now you've got a guy going to Alabama and then a guy next year that's going to have his pick of the litter too. And they've already kind of focused in on the quarterbacks that they want. And I hate to kind of put it this way, but we'll see. I mean, Dayton Raiola is of course the kind of the quarterback in that class, which is why Jet Tamala hasn't really gotten a whole lot of attention from Nebraska. And, obviously with Dylan Raiola, the whole Raiola, the Raiola family is just kind of one big gamble that Nebraska's taken in on. And of course, you want to take it, obviously with Dominic Raiola, what he's done for Nebraska as a player and all that, it makes sense to keep those connections. So, one way or the other, we'd be arguing, well, go out and get the guy that is connected. I mean, obviously Dylan Raiola is a blessing for Nebraska in recruiting and what we will do moving forward. But it's just kind of one big Raiola family gamble here with Nebraska. And my God, I hope it pays off. And we'll kind of see this year's kind of one of the turning points here.
Yeah, I was trying to hurry up and pull up Iowa State's football commitment list. I think this is it right here. But I mean, even Illinois, for them to come in and get that running back, what did they? Let me ask you a question. Illinois, their running back that they had this past year, where would you put him in the Big Ten? And we had some great.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably put him in the upper middle, maybe
top 5.
Yeah, back into there. Yeah.
Okay. So what is Illinois see in a kid from Omaha or that's playing football, that we don't necessarily see, knowing that we need help at running back?
I can't answer that for you. That's just you look at his offer list. Again, Nebraska likes to, Matt Rule said it on the podium, is they kind of see themselves as a top 20 program. They're going to kind of go about business that way. And so, so a lot of these guys that are committed to Illinois or Iowa State, they just don't have Nebraska offers. So it's not like they're just, I don't know if it'd feel better if they had offers and they're picking these teams over Nebraska if you're a Nebraska fan, but there's just, again, a lot of them just don't have the interest from the Huskers.
I tell you what, for them, I mean, you're talking, wow, one. Hold on a second. You got Bryson Williams, of course, that's the son of Jamel Williams, 6'4", 175, defensive back at that. Long, lanky with a whole nother year to go. And this is just Nebraska. You got a Tyrell Chapman right out of Lincoln, Nebraska. All right, throw it the break. We'll come back with this because this is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's definitely good for radio, at least as we get to talk about it. But we are live from Blur Tailgate at Hilton in Omaha. Game 1 of today is underway, and Louisville's in trouble. Bases are loaded for Coastal Carolina. No outs in the bottom of the first. We might have a score to bring you when we come back here on the Captain on 93.7 The Ticket.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
RC's Boxing presents this Saturday at the Complex amateur fights with a little bare knuckle bite. Some of Nebraska's best amateur boxing, along with a professional bare-knuckle bout between Jack Lawless Frericks and Jake Palmer, and a kickboxing bout between Demorio Dennis and Eric Murray Jr. Go get your tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com, where you can live stream this event as well. Doors open at 6 p.m. and first bout is at 7 p.m. this Saturday at the Complex at 1555 Yolanda Avenue.
Husker fans, the 2025 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $185. This plan includes tickets to Michigan or USC, plus Akron or Houston Christian, and either Michigan State, Northwestern, or Iowa. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Fuhrer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Fuhrer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
In dealing with the high interest rates, it's very important that you get as much bang for the buck. And that's what our Remington Homes is all about.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, whether you want painted trim or other upgrades. Those are all options with our Remington Homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
You're looking for a forecast for today. A chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with an afternoon high near 82. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds. Low around 62. And tomorrow, lots of sunshine with a light breeze. It'll be hot with an afternoon high near 93. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Summer is here, and it's time for Acres postseason planter parts sale. Save big on all in-stock John Deere planter parts. Get an automatic 10% off your purchase, or get 15% off when you spend $5,000 or more. Buy over $10,000 and get a whopping 20% off. Visit your local Acres location today and stock up on planter parts and save thousands. Hurry, this sale ends August 31st or while supplies last. Acres, your John Deere dealer.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah. 93.7 The Ticket. We are here live at Blur Tailgate. The sun's trying to peek out a little bit, and I tell you who's not peeking. Louisville, down 2-0. Bases juice. Sheesh.
No outs still. No outs. Down 2-0. Like you said, that starting pitcher. I was going to say, I don't know how you calculate the ERA when you don't get an out. He's just given up 2 runs and 3 on, and now they brought in a pitcher to hopefully for Louisville come in and save their season, or at least give them a chance. You don't want to get a run out right here in the first inning as they're, again, Louisville cannot lose. They've already lost a game. Coastal Carolina can afford to lose one here, but
36-2 when scoring in the first inning this season.
Yeah, scoring first this season.
Scoring first.
So,
now, Bob, I came up with a rule.
My goodness.
You know how the rule
to the wall. That's going to bring in, 3 more?
At least 2. We'll see at the play at the plate here.
That's 2 there. Is there a whitewash rule?
No.
It is not. There's no whitewash rule in effect in the series.
5-0.
You just take your lumps. It could be 20-0.
He cleared the bases with a double there, so 5-0, no outs, bottom of the first. A rough start for Louisville.
Now, what I was talking about, I think I made a rule up. You know how the NCAA makes all these rules. Now, here's one thing that I came up in my short little mind, and this fast of a concept. Okay, when a kid commits, can we get them to go ahead and sign now so schools will stop trying to tamper with them, and it just takes off your scholarship count.
Yeah, that would be interesting because you'd get it, just be able to basically sign when they're like currently committing, and they can't do that now. Of course, back in the day, the rules were there to protect the kid and give them options. Now, at some point, we got to help these teams with roster building, I would think, and stuff like that. I think they could do maybe a next level of that. I don't know what. Just thinking out, I don't know about the legalities of all of it. Just kind of thinking through my head where if you did want to do that and sign, maybe you could and be that serious. But I don't know how many kids would opt into doing that again, because then that would take away your options. It would show, which guys are truly committed.
Well, if you're a fully committed kid and this is the school you want to go to, and this is what you do. You sign that piece of paper, lock you down, so you don't have to go through that motions of tampering and other schools offering more, because what we see right here with the CJ kid is that Nebraska set the bar for this kid. Now, the other schools raised the bar a little bit more. Hey, we don't know what they give you in NIL. We'll give you $500,000 more. We'll give you $120,000 more. Just off that, Bach, and still you have to still account for what they're going to get paid from the school.
Yeah, but I know like a lot of attention right now is on CJ, but in Nebraska was one of the first schools to him, so kudos to that. But Nebraska didn't make the kid; he had to go out there and run as the fastest kid in Florida. So he did a lot of this on his own to eventually get there. Nebraska did a good job of identifying him early, and that's going to ultimately again give them a chance. Maybe it's not necessarily here now as he decommitted, but maybe down the line to give him a call back. I'm sure there's still at least some sort of a good relationship there, but that's again, this is where Nebraska is, and it does unfortunately remind me of the Jet Tamala situation there at Iowa State, and then getting offered Alabama. Is that Nebraska is closer to Iowa State than Alabama? Nebraska at one time should have been, like you said back in your day when they came in with the offer. That was the big offer. That was where you wanted to go. Now Nebraska, it's going to take some work to do to get back to that. Is kind of in that more mid-level right now, maybe with a nice ode to history or whatever, but is more in that Iowa State discussion. As we mentioned, even Iowa State has moving their football program to a point that recently, not altogether, not a better program than Nebraska, but recently has been.
Well, look at Illinois has 20 commits
already.
Yes, 20. Okay, so we can say, oh, well, they committed in it. You don't see a bunch of people running from Illinois. Matter of fact, how did Illinois convince Landon Von Surgeon, 6'3", 280, offensive lineman from guess where? Millard South. He's committed and decommitted. And then what do they know? Meaning Alabama, Illinois, who else?
Iowa State,
Iowa.
Mm.
I think there are a couple other schools that came in and got kids. What do they know that Nebraska doesn't? That's a great question I would love to ask, because and maybe they don't fit the bill, but these are the same teams you're competing against. Illinois, you got to face them in the Big Ten. What do you say when you got two kids that are from the Omaha area right in your backyard that help if they beat you? Now what do you say? So I think we got to really look long and hope that, what do we got, 6 commits, now down to 5?
Yeah.
So what are we waiting on? Do you think we're going more in the transfer portal?
Could be. That could be the kind of I think that's at least the fallback plan if they don't get going as much as they want here. Again, it appears as well Matt Rule's strategy and it kind of has taken geography out. You're going to put your top guys at the board. Those are the guys they're going to go after. But you just hope that they have enough of a backup plan. And I think what a lot of people would have liked to see at least is even if these local Nebraska guys aren't at the top of your board, maybe show enough interest. Maybe those commitments offers wouldn't be committable, so that wouldn't be helping you out too much. And so I think at least you have to appreciate Matt Rule and staff for going that route. They're not like publicly making offers and then behind the door saying, hey, you can't commit to this, so just to look better. But so that, again, it's just a bold strategy. We'll see if it pays off. There has been classes in the past. You're kind of getting to June. You'd like to see a little bit more. You mentioned Illinois' got 20, USC's got 28, Nebraska has 5. You'd like to have a little more, and it usually picks up in the summer. But you're getting closer to the middle of, you're in mid-June here. We usually start to see a few more, and that's why I think that's why I'm trying to think, and we'll see if they have a summer rush here. Maybe it takes away some of those thought process. But
not with the money now.
I think it's the transfer portal is kind of the backup plan, and that's the in the plan they're going to roll with if they don't assign too much out of in the high school race.
And I don't know if that's a good plan to have, but Nice and Wheeler had originally committed to Northern Illinois. Okay, and then after Northern Illinois, he committed to Northern Illinois. Cincinnati came, Kansas came, Maryland came, Michigan State came, Northwestern came, and Wisconsin. So we know Wisconsin, Northwestern, Michigan State, you can throw Maryland in there, are traditionally more run school. So I got to look at this kid and see what he can do. Maybe he doesn't fit what we're doing, but it would seem to me that he would.
Well, my concern about this recruiting thing is that, it starts with W's on the field. And you have to win on the field to convert that into recruiting, and not just by showing the kids a fancy campus. I mean, a fancy campus is all good, but every school's getting that now.
Yeah.
Even since University of
Cincinnati just opened one up.
Just built a new complex. So it's not about what you got and what your complex, what your facilities look like. It also starts by wins on the field. And Nebraska has to go at least 9-3, 10-2 to keep these kids interested in them, because now you're losing kids who's going 7 hours away to Iowa State. I mean, 9-2, what was they, 10-2 last year? Missed a spot by not playing in the Big 12 championship. That kind of hurt their.
Yeah, but they played for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, and that hurt them, and not winning, and that also get them up on Nebraska, because look at their record.
Well, I think they did. Was it last year they won 11, and it was the school record? So still a very good season for Iowa State. And yeah, it's just, again, it's all interesting. Like you said, I mean, winning can help so much in these areas, and that's again what's kind of held Nebraska.
Winning and a big name. So
yeah,
you take Jet as an example. Iowa State. Okay, I'm Alabama. Hey, Jet, I want to offer you a scholarship. This kid's going to take it because he wants to be the next kid from Nebraska to be on a national stage, and that's the stage that he can get on with, especially at the University of Alabama.
I just think I hope we're right, but when you look at this little, when you look at Little Wheeler, he possesses something. That's all I know. He possesses something. And I think you should. He's got good vision. He's built low to the ground, and I don't know. Only time will tell. But I think we need to definitely take care of our backyard again. And when there's guys that, that are for, see, we got to start looking at football players instead of stars. Let's just look at the players themselves and can they help us win football games? And I think everything would change from there. But another Husker, another Omaha kid gets away and goes to a Power 4 school.
Now, would you feel better if maybe I don't even know how these guys would react to it, but if Nebraska were able to come in late, offer some of these guys and bring them back in,
no,
it'd be interesting.
No, because that's what happens. That's what happened to Dan Kalen.
Yeah.
That's what happened to a bunch of these Omaha kids is we came in late, you know what I mean? Or we kept them around and we really didn't necessarily want them, right? We just did it because it was the right thing to do. I don't think you can do things for the right thing to do at this point. You got to win and win right now.
Yeah, as we were saying, I mean, that's the big obstacle to overcome. Nebraska did make a bowl game last year. Hopefully that's a sign of more winning to come around the corner. But there are plenty of teams that make a bowl game every year. That's not going to do enough, as Farley was saying. You got to kind of get up in that next tier in stratus of college football to really bring in these national recruits. And that's, again, part of this bold strategy is Dylan Raiola is what you can kind of show as a promise enough to compete with teams that can show just wins on the field these past couple of years to go after these high-end prospects. Bold strategy, but we'll see how it plays out again. And you would think too with Dylan, again, a lot of it's going to be this year. The shine on Dylan is going to go away if he does not have a good year this year. Then all that kind of that peer recruiting he does, again, there's just always the next hot young quarterback coming up. So, you kind of move down a couple ranks.
I got a question for you guys. If you guys had a fleet of cars, would you buy a fleet of Ferraris? What kind of cars would you buy, Terrell? Would you get a fleet of sports cars? What would you get?
Probably some Tahoes.
You have a fleet of Tahoes.
Yeah.
Perfect. What would you do?
Maybe some luxury vehicles. I like the space.
A fleet of luxuries.
Fleet of luxury vehicles.
Okay. Me, I'm getting all types of different vehicles. I want dualies. I want luxury. If I can get a fleet, I want different vehicles for different times. So it's the same thing with recruiting. You can't always get the shiny thing. You might need to get the bulldozer because you might need it. And I think right when you really look at it, they're going to need it. Oh my goodness, this can get away quick, isn't it?
There's now 2 outs at least, but Coastal Carolina is up 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at it like this is this second. Top of the second.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Louisville's up to bat. That's at least better for him.
Yeah.
I looked away for a second. 6-0 now. Coastal Carolina is in the lead. We better take another break here. We are live from the Bloor Tailgate at Hilton, Omaha. This is the captain here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and the hail sale has been a huge success, but is winding down. We still though have several units with huge discounts. Plus, we have brand new Sierras, $14,000 off list, or starting at $37,105, or 0.9% APR on select new models. Yes, you heard right. $14,000 off or 0.9% APR on new Sierras starting at $37,105. So please check us out at cobblecars.com. All deals with roof credit, stock number G289358.
4th of July weekend is coming soon, and you know what that means. Grilling season. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? A dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning get you ready for grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble your grill so it can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Summer is here, and it's time for Acres postseason planter parts sale. Save big on all in-stock John Deere planter parts. Get an automatic 10% off your purchase, or get 15% off when you spend $5,000 or more. Buy over $10,000 and get a whopping 20% off. Visit your local Acres location today and stock up on planter parts and save thousands. Hurry, this sale ends August 31st or while supplies last. Acres, your John Deere dealer.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out. Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Safety is always at the top of mind at Lincoln Electric System. The safety of our employees and the safety of our customers. It's National Safety Month. Visit les.com/safety for tips on all things related to electrical safety.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Live from the Blur Tailgate at the Hilton Omaha Captain Show. I'm with the Black Shirt and
Bach.
Power.
By
Bauer.
Infrastructure.
Bauer.
Underground.
Brand.
Excavating.
Well, you say turn Terrell up. He can't hear him.
I turned him down. I'm trying to mess with my own, but that's right.
Ooh, did you see the look he gave you? Hey, I tell you, boy, them black shirts work on intimidating faces. I tell you, they do. They work.
That's
they
good,
work.
yeah, that's
they
good.
work for anyway. Go ahead, Terrell. I know you wanted to bring up the whole Brett Bielema deal.
Oh,
Bielema, my bad.
No, it was an article by started with Vanderbilt quarterback. What's his name? Diego
Pavia, yeah.
Pavia, and he said that the SEC is still more competitive than the Big Ten, despite having the 2 past national titles. And he also said Purdue and Nebraska is not a team he's scared of.
Well, why would you be scared of somebody that you basically in the last 5 years have beaten? I mean, even if it's 50-50, I'm not scared of you. If 50% of the time, if we fight 6 times, I win 3 and you win 3, that's a pretty good deal to me.
Well, it's just interesting because he did specifically say Nebraska, which I think is what caught a lot of Nebraska fans' attention there.
So here's one thing he said. The Big Ten, you have like the likes of Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, Penn State. The SEC, you have all dogs. You really only have 4 games a year in the Big Ten. The SEC is like week in, week out. Like you're going to get beat on. The Big Ten, you're not going to get beat on with Purdue and Nebraska. That's one of the things he said. And Brett Bielema said he understands what he's saying. And he, it's just, I think that Nebraska needs, the Big Ten needs to sign this Big Ten SEC challenge like they do in basketball. Let's have it in football.
Or at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I think it is.
I like that idea at the beginning of the season to do something like that because, if you can learn from that, even if you lose, you should be okay moving forward. I don't like it in the middle or at the end. I like it at the beginning just to see who's what. It'll make you prepare a lot harder during the summer knowing that you got to face a SEC or a Big Ten team.
Well, and credit to the SEC. They just have the whole slogan. It just means more. For years and years and years, they did dominate college football. Now Alabama might have been at the top of that, but LSU, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, all these teams take their chances at the top. So I get it. It does feel like that stranglehold that they had on college football has been loosening as of late. Like Terrell said, the Big Ten has now won the last 2 national championships, and it's been a long time since then. It was 2013 for Ohio State was the previous time the Big Ten won, and before that was 97 when Michigan shared with Nebraska. So it sometimes it does take decades for conferences to get up there, but the Big Ten is up there and competing with the SEC at this point in bowl games and non-con, all that stuff. So that's why there's this big discussion right now about determining the college football playoff and how much we should factor in strength of schedule, because strength of schedule right now, you look at some of these websites, they're all so weighted toward the SEC because they do believe, they would back up what Diego Pavia has to say is in that they're all playing like top 10 schedules because it is a daunting run through the SEC. But then again, you look at bowl games like last year, South Carolina was the hot team in the SEC. Illinois was, a team that matched up with them, close to them in the rankings, but nobody quite maybe would believe in them to win that game. Illinois goes out there and wins it. And so, I think there's a lot of talk off the field, especially with the SEC, but on the field, it's starting to turn a little bit.
Well, let's say if Vanderbilt was in the Big Ten, Bob, how would they finish?
Last.
Would they beat Rutgers? Would they beat a Northwestern?
No.
Would they beat a?
I think. Remember they beat Alabama last year. They were
Who did
bowl
beat
team.
Alabama last year?
Vanderbilt did. So they're.
Who did beat Alabama?
Well, I'm
last
just
year?
saying.
8 teams that didn't beat them.
I would more put them in the middle. Middle
4
of the Big
teams
Ten.
that beat them though.
I agree with you 100%. I'm just.
Would you put a Vanderbilt over a UCLA?
Not now.
A USC?
No.
Illinois?
No.
Nebraska?
No.
So I think they're got a close on par with Nebraska, and again, have probably a more of an impressive victory.
Yeah, maybe I'm talking with my heart right now because I never thought in a million years that we'd be comparing ourselves to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
In football,
While
Vanderbilt.
Iowa State takes all the recruits. Yeah, we live in an upside down world to a degree.
No, not just Iowa State. Why there are multiple schools fishing in our backyard.
Yeah.
And it ain't. It's not because they're just fishing in our backyard, right? we're not fishing in our own backyard.
We're not fishing.
We're
yeah.
not there. Nobody's home. So anybody can go fishing. You don't even need a license. Just come here. They'll show you where all the good fishes are, right? That's just where this is where we are right now. And again, I'm hoping that through our play, that mindset will disappear. And we won't worry about the recruits that we lost. But when you got personal people that are out in the community that love Nebraska football, that send you a guy, a potential guy, before he gets any type of love and juice, those are the guys I think you got to put your arm around, because they'll stay when the Ohio States come in. They'll stay when the Floridas come in. Why? Because they're not just committed to the University of Nebraska. They're committed to that person who is the go-between, because they want to see them play in front of them. They're sitting here. So I don't know. I think we got our work cut out, and I hope that I'm wrong, that losing out on these Omaha kids and not getting the top 5 guys in the state of Nebraska could be a problem in 2 or 3 years.
By the way, to round out the Diego Pavia situation, too, I know a lot of us in the Big Ten are frustrated by what he said, but he also said that Vanderbilt's going to run the state of Tennessee after this year. So I think the Vols, and Tennessee fans also are probably questioning that as well. We'll see. Maybe Vanderbilt has found something there, but both those things seem a little unlikely.
I wouldn't listen to a guy who had to run to the NCAA to cry for another eligible year of football. He's the reason why this JUCO thing is starting.
Well, he's the reason that Sean Singleton might be back, though, so we got to give him a little credit.
Yeah,
here.
I mean.
What do you mean, Mike? I thought that was a done deal.
Well, no, he is back, but Diego Pavia is the one that kind of went out there and went against the NCAA. Yeah, petitioned the NCAA.
If that's the case, I still got 2 years there.
Terrell, it's over.
That's right.
It's over, Terrell.
If I was gonna,
I'll just pop my Achilles, Terrell. It's over with. Don't even talk about you and us in
I'm
sports.
gonna play it 37U. You see 37U on
Hey, listen, get down here to Blur. Come hang out with us. Exciting game. Louisville down 6-0. Let's see if they can get back into it. We'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Fuhrer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Fuhrer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with an afternoon high near 82. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds, low around 62. And tomorrow, lots of sunshine with a light breeze. It'll be hot with an afternoon high near 93. I'm meteorologist Kyle Plecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Need service on your home air conditioner? Call the company Lincoln has counted on since 1952. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. No matter what brand you have, when you need service, you want Bryant's experienced pros working for you. Friendly, NATE certified technicians with the tools, training, and technology to restore your comfort quickly. No matter what brand, when you need service, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker fans, the 2025 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $185. This plan includes tickets to Michigan or USC, plus Akron or Houston Christian, and either Michigan State, Northwestern, or Iowa. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, Visit Huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac nachos and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Safety is always at the top of mind at Lincoln Electric System. The safety of our employees and the safety of our customers. It's National Safety Month. Visit les.com/safety for tips on all things related to electrical safety.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at Midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
This is 93.7 The Ticket.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Three-time national champion Vershawn Jackson.
Touchdown. Vershawn Jackson, number 34, gets the touchdown.
Husker Hall of Famer Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bakoven. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Captain Show, the best 2 hours on radio. We are at Blur Tailgates Party, and we are watching Coastal Carolina put it on Louisville here, guys.
Yeah, it's not a close one yet. Coastal Carolina is doing their best. They put 6 runs in the first inning, chased the Louisville starting pitcher out of there. So it's 6-0 right now, bottom of the third. We'll see if Louisville, who's fighting for the season, remember, can get back into this game and make it interesting. We're live today from Blur Tailgate at the Hilton in Omaha. We will be out here until 6 p.m. Of course, the event is going to last until midnight, so if you can't get out here until around that time, don't let us hold you up. Corner of 12th in Cass. Can't miss the big white tent for Blur parties on the south side of Cass Street. Of course, it's the 13th annual tailgate, all-inclusive bar and buffet, 18 TVs showing the live baseball games, including the 3 TVs right in front of us where we can see the game going on right now. Multiple seating options, plenty of seats open, and there's a hammock. There's darts that those guys are playing over there. So a big Jenga setup. There's the foosball. I mean, there's just a lot of different things. Big giant Connect Four you can choose from. And as far as we're looking for prices here, lunch and dinner buffet, soda, water, and cash bar, $64. $94 for lunch, dinner buffet, soda, water, beer, wine, and cash bar. $114 for lunch and dinner buffet, soda, water, beer, wine, and mixed drinks.
Quick question, fellas. DP, I want you to listen on this too. Being down 6-0 in the first inning, is that like being down 21-0 in the first quarter in football?
It seemed like it might be even worse if you ask me. I mean, no, not necessarily. I mean, 21-0 in the first quarter. I would compare it to that because you still got an opportunity to come back because you got 3 more quarters.
Yeah.
But, so 6-0, they're not out of it. If it was 10 or 12-0, I'd tell you. But 6-0, they still got an opportunity if they put some sticks together to maybe make a game of it.
I mean, so I'm not a baseball guy. I do watch baseball, but it's not my sport. I think being down 6-0 in the first inning you have to get your spirit really high to mount that type of comeback, and especially in baseball. Like my Braves did last night against the Mets when I think Ronald Acuna Jr. he hit a leadoff home run. I'm not for sure, but I have to check it. But we came back after being down like 5-1.
Yeah.
So you have to look at stuff like that. Is this Louisville team capable of making this comeback against a team that's won 25 in a row or 27 in a row now?
Well, it's an uphill battle, and so I don't mind that comparison. But again, sometimes in baseball too. I mean, it's the same thing in football. Oftentimes, you see the first couple drives look a little bit different, or things that are successful there are not as successful as the adjustments are made. Sometimes it's just kind of getting to that groove, and hopefully Louisville's settled in a little bit more. Again, they pulled their starter before he could get an out, so it just wasn't his day. Now they've got a different pitcher in here who is a little bit of damage control, and we'll see if he can get it done. But like you said, they got to get their bats going. Once you get down 6, again, it's not over, but it's going to be tough, and it's a tall hill to climb. We'll see if they can make it interesting again. If not, come back and win this thing.
It's tough when somebody's got your number. They got your number. I mean, it is what it is. It would be a catastrophic, epic fail if Coastal Carolina finds a way to even make this close or let these guys get back in this game.
Well, and remember, Louisville has to win twice. So if you're kind of looking at it as just one game frame, it's an uphill battle. But to do that and then come back and beat Coastal Carolina again, who, as we mentioned, has not lost once in the last 25 games, it's just not looking very good for Louisville. But again, that's why we play sports. That's why we have fun. We see these meters ESPN always does of win percentage, all that sort of stuff. And then, the graph can drastically change. So if you're a Cardinals fan, if you're a Cardinal, certainly in that dugout, you just want your opportunity. It's got to be one swing at a time, one kind of strike at a time for them to try to crawl back into this game. They certainly aren't, I'm sure, thinking about tomorrow at this point and try to win too. They just got to crawl back into this game.
How about this NBA Finals? Did the Thunder close out the Pacers?
No, tonight.
I'm saying, do they?
Yes.
You say they do?
Yes.
Why? Is that because you think Halliburton's hurt?
Well,
is that a part of it?
That game is tomorrow, by the way, too.
Tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why not play a game on Father's Day? I mean, we had the biggest day of the year. You have no hockey, no basketball on Father's Day. Why not, Bob?
I guess it's just the way that it worked out for their schedule. They're taking a few more days in between and rest with the finals than they do in the first round. But yeah, I mean, speaking of uphill battles, I mean, the Pacers, it just feels like with Halliburton dinged up, he's going to try to play, but he's like confirmed dinged up here. And he really helps make that offense go. I mean, he's the best player on the team. Siakam can step in. He can give you 30, 35 points. And so maybe they can just kind of jump on his back, and hopefully he can lead them to a win there in Indianapolis if you're a Pacers fan. But again, it's just a similar thing as we're talking about in baseball here. Now you got to beat a Thunder team who's lost 14 games all year round in the regular season. Obviously lost a little bit more in the playoffs. You got to beat them here 2 out of 3 times, and 2 of the 3 games are going to be on the road in OKC. I personally think that OKC is going to close it out. Just because of the Halliburton injury, and because I keep going back to this. I think it's just that missed opportunity that I luckily my Celtics won last year, but before that they've had certain runs where it's just like you're in the middle of, in this situation it was game 4. They're up 2-1. They're at home. They have a chance to take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series, and they have a lead in the fourth quarter, and they blow it. And as an underdog, all that situation just kind of being there for you, that's the spot. That's where you missed it. And you don't want to overthink about it that day. But again, I've just seen it happen to where it's like that was the opportunity they need to capitalize. If they could have went up 3-1 that day, you might even be able to fight off a Halliburton injury to get one of these wins down the stretch. But now down 3-2 with a hobbled star, it doesn't look good.
I think a little bit different. I think that they're going to shock the world, and I think, a lot of people are thinking that OKC is going to close them out, but I would kind of go the other way. I think that Indiana is going to hold them off somehow, some way. If you really look at the games have been flip-floppish in both directions, And so I think this series is going to go 7 games. And I think somehow, some way, Halliburton's going to play. They're going to hit him with the cortisone shot. Terrell, you ever had a cortisone?
Yes.
Where?
My back.
You know the cortisone. Have you ever had a cortisone?
No.
Lasts about 2 quarters.
Yeah, well, a cortisone shot, it'll allow you, it'll numb the situation so you can play by it. But after the numbing wears off, whatever you did after that, it intensifies. That's what Terrell said.
It doesn't cover for you during there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one against the Kansas State game back when we went to Kansas State. I had back spasm and I had like a big sponge on my back from just where my back was hurting at, and I couldn't really do nothing. And they shot me up right before the game, and I went out there and played my butt off. Played so hard that I was able to sit down the fourth quarter because we blew them out by that time. But by the fourth quarter, it started hurting again, though.
Yeah. I only got one I had a high ankle sprain. And let me tell you something. When they hit you with the cortisone, they're not just putting it in the fat part or the muscle part. They're hitting the bone. They're getting right on the bone. And it is the most intense pain that I've ever felt in order to play football.
Well, what they're calling it for Halliburton is a right calf strain. So that's what he's up against here. And he's basically going to go through walkthrough and see if he can play. It's unfortunate. It's part of sports, as we all know. Injuries do happen, and you got to be able to overcome them. But it's just one of those things. Do you see? It's kind of struggled. They've got TJ McConnell and they got some other guys. Certainly a Nimhart that can run the offense.
The other guy played good the other day. You said 15 points in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're going to need that.
Well, you have to start that guy because if he's not ready to go, you have to substitute and don't make your team suffer because he's not in there.
Yeah.
Halliburton's a good player, but I want to give my chance the best team that have to win. And that means sitting him down, Bob. That means letting the other guy start and try to bring him off the bench and get a spark then. But I don't want to start the game off with a guy who's not fully 100% to give my team that effort. And you don't want to go up and put him in and be down 20 points because you're trying to put him in the game and have him keep you in the game.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Coach Rick Carlisle is going to have to determine, whatever that might be. Is it 80% Halliburton better than running, running a lot, playing him less minutes, all that sort of thing. And I'm sure 80% would be fine. 60%, 55%, you get in that category. You might have to make a decision with him whether he likes it or not. But then again, this is your opportunity. This is your star, and we know the stars on NBA rosters tend to have a little bit more power within the organization than the coaches do. So if you're Indiana, if you're the Pacers, you just say one way or the other, we're going to win or lose with our star player because we're not going to be in this situation very often, or at least haven't been for years since 2000, the year 2000, the last time they were in the finals.
So, Buck, this play is kind of shaky because he picked it up. Well, he had a double play. No, he had an out.
No, he should have went to first for the double play and then back to two, right?
He could have caught it. So now they're debating could have caught it, but he dropped it on purpose to make it a double play.
I wouldn't know. That would have been a double. If he would have caught it and he goes to first place, that's a double play. All he had to do was catch it and then go to first base.
Well,
you know what I mean? And to me, in that situation right there, I would have went to first base because the runner had took off. Somebody's out at first regardless.
Yeah.
Right? Now, whether or not he can come back, that's a different story. But he still could have turned that double play. I think that was, I don't know if they count that. That's my question. Do they count those as errors? Is that an error?
If the guy got on, I didn't see the full thing as I'm watching through it again. Coastal Carolina up at the plate, Louisville pitching. And there's a Coastal Carolina man on first now after this last play. But they're going to have to try to take every break they can if you're Louisville to get back into this game.
But I do see it going. I do see it going 7, and if it doesn't, good. We're that much closer to football.
I always like that argument. It doesn't really change how closer we are to football if basketball ends sooner. We just might talk about football a little bit, maybe a segment or more to the next couple of days more so. But I always think that's funny that that's how their kind of mind functions is if once basketball is done, then I can focus on football. And so, but it doesn't actually make, what is it, August 28th any closer?
Yeah, well, since we're talking basketball, let me ask you guys a question. What school has the most number one overall NBA draft pick?
What did he say now?
What school has the most number one overall NBA draft picks?
Duke.
That's pretty good, Terrell. Did you cheat?
No.
Who's two?
Duke has been that
Definitely
type
Duke
of team.
Well, you can almost name them with Zion.
Then you got the guy finna go now. You can go
Cooper
back
Flagg,
to I don't think Christian Laettner was the number one pick. It's a lot of them. It's just
So Grant Hill, I don't know.
Grant Hill. I don't know if he was number one. Tayshaun Prince. You got.
Well, he went to Kentucky. Which Kentucky might be in that race, I would assume, too. Do you have the list in front of you, or are we just guessing?
No, I got a list.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I wanna
100%.
make sure, yeah.
No.
That's Kentucky second?
Yeah, that's not a guesstimate at all. Hold on, I'll just give it so you know exactly what they are. That's not a guesstimate at all. That is facts, buddy. It is definitely Duke. Duke has the first. I'll look it up on the computer. That way I don't have to go to my phone. But Duke has the most. I'm serious. I think it's Kentucky.
Yeah.
I know Kansas was in the running. I think they had 3.
The Blue Bloods generally will
Right.
be in the conversation. That's what I was thinking. I wonder if there's somebody like outside of it, like a Houston, something like that, that's just had enough good years that doesn't quite make them a blue blood, but have had enough good players go through the program to get drafted that high. But again, it's hard as you kind of think back. You have to almost be a draft expert more than the NBA expert because you think back to the better players. A lot of them weren't picked number one. There's been some mistakes at number one. Michael Jordan himself, as we know, wasn't picked number one. So, I'd throw North Carolina out there too. But I can't think of too many number one picks from there.
You got to almost go North Carolina
Duke.
and all that good stuff.
Kyrie Irving, Elton Brand, Zion Williams, Polo, whoever that
Paolo
is.
Banchero, yeah.
Kentucky is second with 3, followed by UConn with 2.
There's a bunch with 2.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Kansas, Maryland, there's somebody else. There's a bunch of guys there's a bunch of teams with 2 first. But I always thought that was funny though. How that. Okay, so again, I got me and my trivia, right? Okay. Which team has owned the number one pick in the draft the most? You can't answer, Bob.
Well, I looked over there, so
I know
shouldn't
you did.
answer anyway, yeah.
One team has won the championship, the other team has not. If that gives you helps you out any.
Milwaukee Bucks.
No.
Indiana Pacers.
No. You don't remember the Indiana Pacers winning in our lifetime.
No, I'm talking about.
I said one of these teams. There's 2 teams tied for.
Okay, well, maybe I'll go with the least favorite team first, the bottom.
Oh.
Let's say Atlanta Hawks.
No. Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right.
And the Washington Wizards. Both had 6 number one picks, including LeBron James. Houston Rockets had 5 number one picks, Sacramento Kings 5, and the Portland Trailblazers 4. It looks like to me it don't matter if you get the number one pick. You don't normally win a championship with that.
It doesn't always translate, but for Cleveland, yeah, again, it depends on the pick you make. If you make LeBron James, well, then you might have to wait till his second return. Kyrie Irving helped in his first day with the Cavs, but they also drafted Anthony Bennett first. And I don't know if that guy lasted 4 years in the league. So sometimes you just got to – sometimes it depends on the year too. It's very helpful when you go out and there's an obvious choice like a LeBron James. I'm putting Cooper Flagg in that conversation, but kind of like a guy that just stands out to be the obvious number one pick. And then there's years where you have to pick amongst the group. And certain times that could be really interesting. Again, I always – look back at the Boston Celtics and I always have my Celtics little facts in there. But when they traded back from the number one pick to go third and pick Jason Tatum, because they knew that the first 2 picks were not going to be Tatum. They were going to be Fultz, Markelle Fultz at the time, and Lonzo Ball. And so Boston was able to get the number one pick, the best player out of that draft, by trading back to number 3 in a position they would have taken him number 1. So it's just kind of interesting to do all that math.
Yeah, well. Sometimes you got to, right?
Yeah.
All right, get down here now. We are at the tailgate. Blur It is going down. Great games going on right now. Coastal Carolina is all over Louisville. Corner of 12th and Cass. Can't miss the big white tent for the blur parties on the south side of Cass Street. Come hang out. 93.7 The Ticket, Captain Show.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
Safety is always at the top of mind at Lincoln Electric System. The safety of our employees and the safety of our customers. It's National Safety Month. Visit les.com/safety for tips on all things related to electrical safety.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
I want to ride. Do you want to ride? June is officially riding month at Rod's Power Sports, Nebraska's largest volume Honda Power Sports dealership. Come in now and take advantage of huge savings and a great inventory selection during Rod's I Want to Ride celebration days all month long. Simply schedule a qualified demo ride on one of their new Honda motorcycles, ATVs, scooters, or side-by-sides, or purchase a new or used vehicle, and you get a free custom I Want to Ride t-shirt. Plus, all month long, they have 10% discounts on all wearables, parts, accessories, and oil change kits when purchased with a new or used Honda. Free refreshments served each Saturday morning in June. Just show up and say, I want to ride, and they'll fix you up with some free stuff and help you pick out that new ride. Come ride with Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln or online at rodspowersports.com. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda Power Sports vehicles are for riders 16 years and older. Honda recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac, nachos, and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. RC's Boxing presents this Saturday at the Complex amateur fights with a little bare-knuckle bite. Some of Nebraska's best amateur boxing along with a professional bare-knuckle bout between Jack Lawless Frericks and Jake Palmer and a kickboxing bout between Demorio Dennis and Eric Murray Jr. Go get your tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com where you can live stream this event as well. Doors open at 6 p.m. and first bout is at 7 p.m. this Saturday at the Complex at 1555 Yolanda Avenue.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back at 93.7 The Ticket, the Captain Show, the fastest 2 hours in radio.
Turn your mic a little better. Like maybe put it up to your mouth a little
right?
closer.
I don't want to put my mouth on it.
It sounds better.
You can kiss it or something?
No, I'm just saying we can hear you. You sound
all right,
muffled.
fellas. I got some trivia for y'all. Bach, I don't even want you looking. You probably
like
know
to
half
peek over
of
there.
it. But I'm going to go for Sean first on this one. All right, Rashawn. Who holds the longest winning streak in college football?
Right now?
No, ever. The longest winning streak in college football ever.
It's between two schools. I'm a go Nebraska.
No.
Clemson.
No.
Give me one more guess. Alabama.
I said no.
Georgia.
No.
Oh.
They have
Oh,
one.
did Bach know the answer?
They have one of boxing cheater.
Bach, you know the answer?
I looked at this article earlier.
Yeah. So
It is a
That's
historic-
why you can't send everything.
I didn't send this.
I found that one.
I clicked on it. All right. The longest winning streak is the Sooners.
Oklahoma?
47
47.
consecutive wins that began in 1953
Ah.
and lasted almost 5 seasons, producing back-to-back national titles for 55, 56. Oklahoma held its opponents to single digits and 35 of the 47 wins and recorded 22 shutouts.
So we going back to when we wasn't even none of us were alive.
Okay.
Can we stick to when we were born?
The second.
Hey, don't forget about
the
the
second-
Bud Wilkinson era there.
Can you go 75 to
The second longest consecutive winning streak is Toledo, won 35 straight from 69 to 71.
Still before our time.
Miami and USC each won 34 in a row, which you said none of those schools. Even though and even Georgia won 29 in a row and 20 and 21.
Well, you cost us all those games in a row, though. Remember?
Well,
anyway, I was just
all
kidding.
right. What school has the most top 5 finishes?
What
in consecutive years?
Alabama.
No. What coach
has what?
The most consecutive top 5 finishes in college football history?
Oh, now you went to Coach Osborne.
No.
Nick Saban.
No.
Come on, man. You can't do people that was.
This is in your ballpark. This is at around your
ask
area.
the question one more time. Which
All right.
coach?
They finished in the top 5 for every final AP poll in consecutive years.
I don't know. Florida State.
Yes.
There it is. There it is.
87
Bobby Bowden.
to 2000.
Okay, I can see that.
The whole even more than a decade in the top 5. That really is incredible. I know
That's
some people,
incredible.
and that's why people argue. You know, Florida State had 2 titles in the 90s. Nebraska had 3. Sometimes you'll still see people rank Florida State as the team of the 90s.
Oh, stop.
Because of those top 5 finishes.
Well, the 93 game was a sham.
Yeah, there is
at
that.
best. And when
Not
they
wrong
won
there.
it, didn't they win it in 96?
99.
No, who won it in 96?
So they lost to Florida in 96.
Perfect. They
Yeah.
shouldn't even have went to the game. We should have been playing Florida in 96 because we that's the game we tripped off against Texas.
Right.
And
yeah.
let what's his name?
James Brown.
James
Yeah,
Brown,
yeah.
Ricky Williams, Priest Holmes, and crew do us in. Thanks a lot, Terrell.
All right. What defensive player finished his season with 27 sacks in one season?
27 sacks.
Yeah.
Are we in the last 10 years?
30.
Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair, Terrell. You just want to stump me now.
No.
Yeah, you see, which college player had 27 sacks? Brian Bosworth.
Come on.
Well, who you want me to go with? You can't go with Ndamukong Suh. He didn't have 27.
Derek Thomas.
For who?
Alabama.
Really?
Yes.
I can still.
Officially,
Machine.
Terrell Suggs has the record because with 24, because the NCAA at the time wasn't official NCAA stats.
Stats.
yet.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
wondering because in my mind it was always Terrell Suggs, but that makes sense. Yeah, before sacks were a stat, Derek Thomas was getting it done.
You want to get some current events?
Sure.
I'm just saying. You got any more trivia? They're pretty good. Anything else? Trivia wise.
That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Ask me that one. Come on.
I want to just say which team has scored in 461 straight games? 461 straight football games. Nebraska's shutout streak, of course, goes back to 96. I think this one goes back even a little further. Of not getting shut out, that
Of
is.
not
yeah.
getting
not
shut
getting
out?
shut out, yeah.
It's got to be one of the big five. Ohio State.
No.
Michigan.
No.
It's not in the Big Ten, then.
No.
Florida.
Yeah.
Florida.
I have to give you the-
What?
Yeah.
Last time they were shut out, 1988.
That's pretty good.
That is incredible.
Even though they had a losing season last year.
Yeah, they got a tough schedule.
Don't tough schedule me. Everybody has a tough schedule.
They really had a tough schedule, but yeah, they do again this year, so they can't use that as an excuse.
So what is Florida State? Is Florida State how many games they win last year?
2.
Do they say come back and only win 3?
Ah, man, you would think they do. I mean, they changed everything up. You'd think they'd be able to win more than 2 regardless.
Florida State is
True,
going to be a
true
problem.
and false. Nebraska's has sold out every football game at Memorial Stadium dating back to November 3rd, 1962.
True.
It's true, but it's also false, but it's true.
Do you count the seats or do you count the people, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been in the stadium a few times where I've seen a few more empty seats at the start of the kickoff than you would think. But it's not butts and seats. It's sold out. If those tickets, those seats were sold, then it's sold out.
Hey, if I want to keep the sold out streak going because I want to pay my money for the sold out streak, let me spend my money where I think it's.
Now here's a question: if you could go 10-1 and lose the 460 whatever
The
it's
sellout
403 sellout streak, would you rather lose that streak or go 10-1?
The obvious answer is go 10-1. Forget the streak. Sorry, fans. I apologize, but for us to go 10-1, man, that would be phenomenal. It would be. Nobody would believe it happened, and we would. What would we be doing if we're 10-1?
Well, I will say this: it was sad because growing up through the era that I did, is there was all these records that you would watch kind of fall by the wayside, and the one that never did fall down was that sellout streak. Again, now you can argue about whether butts were in seats or the university or certain folks had to step up and buy some seats, whatever the case may be. But that is something I'm very prideful of. I hope that it never ends because there's nobody even remotely close. And as we move into the future, I can't imagine anybody getting remotely close to that record. So as long as they can keep that going, that will be good. I don't know what the current situation is on that. I don't want to put bad vibes in the air, but if Nebraska loses to Cincinnati, I wonder what the Houston Christian outlook, how many people are going to show up to that game.
What? Don't even.
It's a possibility. All right, we have to acknowledge Cincinnati is a threat.
Why? What makes this Cincinnati team a threat? You better come with some facts now, buddy.
The only fact that's kind of been scared me is that they did beat Arizona State last year. So they beat a playoff team last year. Nebraska, of course, did not. Now, Nebraska was close to beating the national champion. So that's kind of a roundabout way of grading out a team. Cincinnati was not a good ball club last year, but you never know. It's a new year. It's a Big 12 team. They've got a solid quarterback, at least in Brendan Sorsby coming back. So, again, I don't see them as a top 25 team. I don't think they're this great obstacle to overcome. Neither was Northwestern the year they beat us, and that was the only game they won. Neither was Illinois a couple of years ago. Nebraska just has not won these opening games, and that's caused, obviously problems throughout the remainder of the season where we'd look back and say, man, they should have won that one, and who knows what it would have looked like if they did. Hopefully in Arrowhead they take care of business. I'm just saying for the sellout streak, if they don't, I don't know how much is going to be, how big that stadium crowd is going to be for that Houston Christian game in one way or the other. I mean, I think it'll be packed like it usually is. I do expect that to be one of those games where you can count a few seats and say, I don't know about the sellout streak here. But if you go in there at 1-1, it might be even more difficult to get people to go.
All right, last one, VJ. Who has the oldest stadium in the Big Ten?
That's a great question. I'm going to go on a limb and say, watch me be wrong after I go away from what my first thought is. Penn State.
No.
Michigan.
Nebraska.
No.
So Nebraska's like 1923 or so.
Northwestern.
Ohio State.
No.
Is this a new Big Ten team?
No.
Can't be.
1917.
What?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
Hold on. Them facts is wrong.
No.
Yes. You said what? What was it?
Wisconsin Camp Randall claims the crown as the oldest venue in the Big Ten.
No. How could they be older than Nebraska? How? When we had football before that, you said when?
You're saying stadium wise though. So like the Memorial Stadium wasn't built, I don't think, till 1923.
Second is the University of Washington, 1920. 1922 for Ohio State. 1922 October for the Rose Bowl, UCLA. 1923 for USC. 1923 for Michigan State.
Popular year to build stadiums.
1923 Nebraska. October 20th, though.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad that, because I was fairly certain that was the year. I was just throwing it out there with not 100% confidence, but that's a popular year to build, and that's,
You want to know the least youngest stadium?
The newest stadium, other than Northwestern, which is going to come around.
Northwestern.
Yeah.
Which is hosts Lanny and Sharon Martin Stadium, Northwestern. Capacity, 12,000.
Yeah.
And their stadium won't be open until 26. So Minnesota has the worst one at 50,000, 2009.
One of the newer stadiums.
Rutgers, 1994.
That stadium is only that old.
Yeah.
It is not all that good at all.
Oregon,
they did a good job of the history in that stadium. Of course, Minnesota only has really old history, but the way that they kind of put up all those old years, I thought that looked pretty good. But yeah, the stadium overall is doesn't necessarily look like a 19. What would you say? 2018 type of stadium.
There's no updations if you ask me in that stadium. You still, to get to the press box, you can't. You know how you can get it. If you go to the press box, you got to walk outside to get to the press box, then walk back inside, then walk back outside to get to the press box. Did you go to Minnesota that year?
I did go. I went. I wasn't there I just went with some buddies, but yeah, I liked that stadium. I thought it was it was cool, especially the area it was in. If you go to a game there, you can go to Twins game right there, the Timberwolves. I mean, everything's just kind of right there in that area. So I thought that was cool about it. But yeah, it's one of those things where if you go to a smaller stadium, what do you say, capacity like 54,000? Yeah. I was impressed with how every seat in the house was pretty good, because compared to Memorial Stadium, if you're sitting at the top of the bleachers at Minnesota, that's about, halfway up Memorial Stadium if you look at it that way. So I thought I was impressed by Minnesota Stadium. Not like overly impressed, not something where I'd go and go out of my way to go to a game, but I thought it was good.
Gus Mohawk says, if you could play 4 SEC teams for your first 3 games, who would it be? Me? Yeah, y'all can take a stab at it, but I know who I would play.
I'll say Florida because we're about equal to them with talent and 2 young quarterbacks. Be exciting to see DJ Lagway and Dylan Raiola go at it. 2 would probably have to be Mississippi State, guaranteed probably victory.
Not necessarily.
And 4, my Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh,
You want to measure,
Really?
You want to measure up to the best.
Yeah, I ain't even getting close. I would bring Oklahoma back to the fold.
Got to do Oklahoma.
I would go Oklahoma back to the fold. Texas A&M just because we got to get back at Trev.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt because we definitely want to win. Like you said, I mean, I get it. And I would think I got a vested interest in this game, okay? I don't want to play LSU. But if we had to have a team come in that I think would be an exciting football game, it would be LSU.
Yeah,
those would be my 4.
I think it just depends on what you're looking for, right? I mean, if it was just like me personally, I think Georgia and LSU, those type of teams would be really fun. If you're looking,
You're the coach. You
What?
just lost 2. You're the coach.
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know exactly
Terrell's
what I'm
0-4
choosing for.
on his own reconnaissance.
I said if I'm trying to win, I'd pick out the Mississippi States of the world and that sort of thing. But if it was just up to me, blank slate, don't try to say win, loss, just want to see. I'm going nostalgic, and I'm going with Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Missouri. Give me my old Big 12 buddies back.
Dang! You know when I heard you say nostalgia, I thought you was gonna go for the powerhouses, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
The top of the food chain, Georgia. And
Those would be not be a bad idea either.
Well, Alabama. Could you imagine it? If you had to go, you go to Alabama, and then you got Georgia coming home, and then you got who would be the next best team? Texas, week 3, and then you final that out with LSU. That's brutal.
Are you more scared of a Michigan team that has 13 returning starters back?
Not necessarily, because I told you they had a lot go to the NFL, and I don't know necessarily they scared me as much as they would scare me if those guys didn't go to the NFL.
Yeah,
if they went free agent or I wouldn't be mad. But when you got first round potential, when you got guys going in the first 4 or 5 rounds, it's hard to replace that.
Well, what's interesting is we've seen these kind of schedule rankings in Nebraska be pretty low as far as difficulty in the Big Ten. And it's because there aren't those games, even like the big brand name in Michigan. It's like, yeah, it's a brand name. Yeah, they won a title a couple years ago, but now we're really going to see if their coach can kind of keep that momentum going from Coach Harbaugh. And, oh, by the way, he's not going to be coaching that game. Throw in the freshman quarterback, the fact that they struggled in passing and so much last year. Maybe they can upgrade that. But that's not one of those games that you kind of get a little bit nervous going into. I mean, it'll be fun. It's a helmet game. I'm sure they might be in the top 25, but they're not scared isn't the where it go there. Penn State's the only game that I would say on paper that looks like a dog. That looks like that's going to be pretty tough for Nebraska to do. But they went to Ohio State last year. You'd say the same thing, and they're competitive with them.
Well, here's the thing about Ohio State. They're returning 3 wide receivers back from their team last year. A tight end, a left guard, a center, and a right guard. Now, defense, you're correct. They're only returning 3 players. Linebacker Sonny Styles, a cornerback, and a safety.
Caleb Downs, yeah.
Yeah.
Not just any safety, the best in the league.
Yeah,
the nation, probably.
If he's making a whole bunch of tackles, we're in good standing.
Yeah.
Well, he plays close to the line.
Okay. We should be throwing over the top of him anyway. We got Dylan Raiola. We got Dane. we got Key. We got Hunter. We got what was the youngster from last year from Florida?
I don't know.
Barney.
See here's the thing.
Yeah, we got Barney. I mean, there's no excuse for us not to be able to throw over the top of a team that wants to have his safety sniffing around.
Now, when I come back, I want to talk about the wide receiver group because there's a player out there that went undrafted that's probably better than we thought he was. So I'm going to go on a limb and say Nebraska's coaching was so bad at receivers last year that they had to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about it when we come back on 93.7 The Ticket.
You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK, make flying easy.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac, nachos, and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
You're looking for a forecast for today. A chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with an acting high near 82. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds. Low around 62. And tomorrow, lots of sunshine with a light breeze. It'll be hot with an afternoon high near 93. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket. It's the Captain Show. We are back at Blur Tailgate, Hilton Omaha. Get down here. We are on our way out. The fastest 2 hours of radio. We're going to yield to Strick in Austin. I don't know if Jay's here, but we're going to yield to those young men today. Fellas, they're trying to make a half an effort.
Yeah, Louisville's getting some guys on. Still haven't been able to play to anybody's, but we'll have to wait and see. I noticed when I went over to the bathroom too, a little bit of rain out there. You know, maybe you don't see that so much there on ESPN. Just a sprinkle right now. Hopefully it stays that way.
It's pretty consistent though out there.
It has been, yeah.
So Cincinnati has 10 starters coming back next year.
Total, okay, yeah. Not on one side of the ball. I'd be a little worried.
6 on defense, 4 on offense. You have a D lineman, D end, 2 linebackers, and 2 safeties.
So that means we want to be looking towards the outsides and the corners to attack them with our receivers. I mean, if I'm looking at it at a game standing and game planning standpoint, I want to attack the youth. I want to attack those corners that are probably going to be rookies or transfer portal guys.
Yeah. Offense, they got the quarterback back, tight end, center, and right tackle.
Just 4 returning starters on offense. Yeah, like I said, Brendan Sorsby is at least a little bit proven. Used to be a Big Ten quarterback over there at Northwestern, but had some success over there at Cincinnati. Again, they didn't have the team success. I'm really interested altogether. You know, we talk about that move that Lincoln Riley made that basically ruined USC and Oklahoma since it's happened, right? Oklahoma didn't make the correct hire, at least as of now. And so they've struggled since then, and USC just hasn't worked out there. Kind of the same thing happening with Cincinnati and our buddy out there at Wisconsin. Of course, Luke Fickell left Cincinnati. Wisconsin's not any better for him having gone, and Cincinnati hasn't recovered from him having left. So
why not stay?
Yeah, could have worked.
Whatever happened to, and I get it about money, but whatever happened to building the program that you inherit or you get?
Yeah,
taking the guys that are in the room and winning with those guys instead of making an excuse, oh, these aren't my guys. These are your guys. These are guys that are left in the room when you took over, and you need to figure out how you win with those guys, and I think you stick around. I'm so sick of seeing these coaches have great opportunities in situations, and then they go, okay, I'm gone because of the money, and then they figure out grass ain't green on the other side.
Well, and quite naturally, usually, obviously, if you are good enough to be bought away, basically have somebody else come and take you, you are doing good at the school you're at. And the school that is going out to get you is not doing well, right? Like they're scrambling.
They're looking for you to rebuild them.
So it's a danger in making those job changes.
Check this out. So when I'm a coach and I look at Nebraska, they're returning starters. Marquise Buford, who's a safety.
Yeah.
Sierra Wright, who's a corner. Malcolm Hogler, who's a safety. And Deshaun Singleton. You have no up front guys. Your front 7. I'm running at you. I'm running the ball. I don't care about passing. I want to make sure that I break you down, and especially with no starters coming back for your front 7.
At least you're going to try.
I'm going to try.
I would too.
That would be
that's what I'm saying. That's the predetermined game read right there.
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing returning up front.
Nothing.
Let's test them up front immediately.
You got to.
I would do nothing but run and play action all day.
Well, it's interesting, too, with these days with returning starters. That's almost one set of numbers. And then you want to see returning starters and guys that are returning starters, but they left somewhere else. Like, obviously, there is a transition there. But, Dane Key's not going to show up anywhere as a returning starter, even though he's one of the best receivers in the SEC last year. So, there's different things to kind of go through. Nebraska's front seven, to be fair, is kind of the question mark of that defense, though. Even the scouting report would go ahead and say that. You're replacing a lot up front. Obviously, we know about Nash and Ty clogging up the front, but that linebacker core as well. We know Javin Wright can play, rather well. Did he play enough to be labeled as a starter? Maybe not. But so we'll have to wait and see. But there's a lot of change in that front seven, along to go with the change at defensive coordinator.
Nebraska's going to have to beat people with their offense because defense is going to have to catch up. And so just like last year where the defense would carry the offense and the offense never could get going, the offense is going to have to carry our defense, and the defense is going to have to get some takeaways that, we haven't seen in a long time. We got to get the ball out. You can count on one hand how many times we got actual fumbles on the ground. That means guys poking at the ball, pulling at the ball, because there's no difference between an interception and a fumble. It's still a trip interruption.
Jay Foreman, by the way, is in the building as we see him walk over as they get ready for On the Block. And that'll probably about wrap it up for the captain, unless you guys have any parting words.
Oh, no. I'm just see y'all tomorrow in studio.
Yeah, we'll be back in studio tomorrow. Should be a good day. We'll be back out here Saturday, though.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that one because hopefully we'll be watching LSU and Coastal Carolina do business and do work.
All right, that'll wrap it up for the captain here from Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha. Once again, stay tuned. We're out here at 93.7 to Ticket until 6 o'clock. On the Block, coming up next year on 93.7.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair